Hello there and welcome to my little arty corner. This is an unexpected video. It's a very quick one because I know some people may be having trouble drawing wheat, and I've tried to do a step out and my head just doesn't work that way generally. So what I want to do very quickly is just to show how in my head I kind of draw wheat and kind of the structure that I think you can use. So bear with me, okay? So, oh, thank you if you're joining me. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. And click the bell for notifications. If you've subscribed, thank you so much. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to get along with it. Okay, so what I'm going to start with is in pencil. I'm going to draw a long kind of oval shape. Because if I remember rightly, I'm not very good at this. Wheat may be a little wider at the bottom than the top, but this will do. And then I'm going to put a central line in, because this is where the wheat is going to cross over, as it were, the grains of wheat. So my first job is I'm going to put the very first grain in at the top. Then the next grain will start at the centre and we'll create this curved line going out, and we'll come back and then we'll do the same thing on the other side. So these are just teardrop shapes, and if we look, they're sort of like, look at these angles, they're sort of like this, and they're about this far apart. By doing these first ones, I can put the rest in that I need down to here. So let's have a look. So again, it's a case of drawing that teardrop shape so the bottom fits in here. I'm drawing the top part first. That one there must probably put out too far, so I'll just pop it back there. And the other thing I'm beginning to do is, rather than having a straight teardrop like this, we're having the usual kind of shape on this side, but on the other we're exaggerating it bulging here. Can you see the difference? This one's it's just like a letter J, I suppose, and this one's beginning to become more like an upside down question mark. So that's a good way of describing it. So I'm going to start here, and this side is the letter J, and this side is like the question mark. So this one's like a letter J, and this one is like a question mark. I know it's a bit odd because I'm drawing them upside down and back to front, but that's the way that they sort of like remind me. So if we go to this side, so the top one is the edge of it's fairly straight like here. I've put a little curve on the bottom, and then this one is the one that's going to, you can see how it bulges out more than this one. And I find it useful to draw them in two halves, like this. And so we get a very stylized kind of wheat here, wheatier. And then I can pop the stem in like this. I'll do it again. And this time though, I'm going to see what happens if I start drawing from the bottom up, because I don't think it'll make any difference at all. We're just going to pop these in just as a start in guide. I may completely ignore them as I draw them, but it's the same kind of idea. We'll start with the point of the seed there. This one bulges down, and this one will just curve around like that. So I'll start on this side, this one curves around, and then this one will bulge out a little bit towards the bottom. So again, this one curves around, and this one, it bulges out, but it sort of tucks behind this lower one, so I don't have to worry about tucking it in. And I am kind of going in a diagonal pattern, you know, zigzagging back and forth, you know, from side to side, going alternately from left to right. So again, I'll do this one, and then like so. If it goes behind, don't worry too much about drawing it in behind or anything, just stop when it meets the line, it'll be fine. You know, as this comes around, it's going to meet here. I'm not going to draw it up and round. We can go like that. I'm finding it a lot easier to draw it from the bottom up, but experiment and see how it works. So hopefully, and then I've got to the top, so I'm just going to pop an entire grain in there. This one is a lot neater working from bottom to top, I do have to say, so I would recommend that. But if it feels more comfortable and you get better results with the other one, then carry on. And yep, I've drawn in pencil rather than pen, just in case. One more? Shall I do one more? How about if we make this so that they are, perhaps it is a bit wider at the bottom. I'll pop the line in there, and then the corn or the wheat seeds, grains, because they're grains, aren't they? Get bigger towards the bottom. So I'm just going to make the sections get a bit bigger, and we'll start drawing them in just as we've done. One's at the bottom, like this, and then this one like so. That one I curved it up a little bit there, but it doesn't matter at all, because nobody's going to come along and say you drew that one wrong. Well, if they do, they're rather mean, in my opinion. And remember, I'm not drawing from observation here, I'm drawing from memory, from what I know wheat, or you know, looks like kind of. And it's a very stylized version of wheat, so one at the top, and then pop the stem in like that. So I hope that helps. These bits here work fine if they are just shaded in like so. If we create the shape of the wheat grain underneath there, round this off, that helps greatly with that kind of suggestion that we've got all seeds packed there. Now, when I do if I put leaves in with this, I'll have the leaves following the stem for a little bit, and then I have them curving back. So this is almost an S shape. It's a reverse S, an upside down S, no, a reverse S, but it's what it is. Then what I do is from this side, I'll draw this back so it comes down and meets this somewhere along the edge of the grass. And then I start from up here somewhere and just go down like this. We actually don't want it to follow this line, we want it to be slightly different to the line, which is why I'm adjusting that just a little, because I can do that with pencil. So if I do that with the other side, I'll draw this one in. So I'm going to create this shape here, but it's in reverse, so like so. And as it twists onto its edge, this will get thinner. So, and then from the back, we start somewhere along there, this one. And so it twists onto two sides. There will be more shadow here and here perhaps. And the same here where it's folded over. And these lines can bend with the way the blade of the leaf bends as well. And adding some weight to one side of these really does help trick the eye into seeing the way that it twists and turns round as well. And I'd choose probably the outside one and just carry it forward like that. And it just helps. In the same way that adding weight to the bottom of these, or to the left side and the bottom, except you can't see the bottom because it's tucked underneath, but the bottom of these where we can. Just that extra bit of weight of thickness really helps with that feeling of dimension. And remember yesterday, or in the last video, when I drew the wheat, you could see I put some lines here that followed the shape of the seed, like so. Depends on the thickness of pen you're using. I'm using a pencil here, but also as these grains get smaller, you need fewer lines really to take up the same space. And that just helps to add some dimension. I'm sorry I was off the camera a little bit, but you get the idea. So if I try on another piece of paper to do the steps, and I'll leave this one up at the end, and I'll put it on the, what do you call it, the credits or the end card, so you can pause the video, view it. So the first step is to draw the outline of your wheat and pop the stem in, or draw the stem and then, you can draw the stem and then draw where you want the wheat. I'm going to start at the bottom because it's easier for me to do that. So we start by drawing this kind of line. Draw, then this one will bulge down that little bit. So I will draw these in again. Yeah, I'm drawing them backwards, aren't I? So we're mirroring. And then what I'm going to do as a guide, I'm just going to pop in fact, I could do that here really. Some guides as to where my next seeds are going to go. Now they're going to be different on each of my drawings because I'm drawing them as I go. So you can see there, so hopefully you'll see the shape forming. And then I'll complete this here. Oops, we're going to get one that's a bit more pointy at the top, but I can live with that. Okay, I'm still on camera. So I'm not putting the zigzags in for myself this time, because you can judge the distance after a while. But if you need to do that, go for it. But I do think to get this correct, you do need to do the pairs of grains the same level together. And don't forget, you can twist and turn your paper around to make it easy for you to draw it. And you notice that I'm swapping whether I draw the top one first. So I tend to draw the top line on this side, and I've just done the top line there. And there we have our and then the stem. So hopefully that will help. And again, I'll draw in here how to draw the grain. I'm going to start with, it's almost like a J or an L shape on this side, and then on the other side we're going to change the shape so it's like an S. So if we start with an S, then we can go this way. So it's like a teardrop, but there's that point curled round. To do it the other way, we start with, we think, the S shape going like this. So this one has the S. Oh no, I've done exactly the same, haven't I? So S shape there, and then over that way. So yeah. And so on each side. You can see there. Okay, so it's a very messy couple of pieces of paper, but that's how I draw. It's very stylized wheat. So I hope that makes sense. It makes a lot more sense when I draw it and talk about it than it does when I just show it. So there's what they look like, the leaves. If you want to use leaves, you don't have to. And then there's this, which is my step-by-step version for you. So I hope that helps. And it is just practice. Seriously, it's just practice. So I'm going to leave you with that until I see you again. Okay. So if you can see, oh, it's not too bad on the camera. You can see the red there. It's a bit sore still. It's a bit sore again today. I think it's part of healing. So I haven't seriously damaged it, but it's enough that I don't want to show it too much. So there you are. How to draw wheat. Until I see you again, take care. Bye-bye for now. Bye.